I'm sure you can understand their overwhelming grief. Although, I must admit, I had not expected to see you attend today. When you could have submitted your condolences online, it would have been much more your style, hygienic and less personal. Or are you attending due to your new status in being Counter Supreme?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Drew. Just because I despise you for your role in the breakup of my marriage, that is no reason for me not to pay my respects to the brilliant man who was the love of my life.
As he was mine, Winifred. Over the years, we haven't had the best of relationships, have we? I wish you no harm.
I do not require or care for your wishes, Drew. I have no desire to have any type of relationship with a creature that targeted a happily married man.
Oh, Winifred, I hope you don't mean that. You wouldn't want to keep Ethel from her stepsisters and brothers.
Oh, now that her father is no longer in the picture, Ethel will have no relationship with your defective rainbow children. Thankfully, they do not share any blood, and she is hardly the type of girl to hang out with artists.
As you wish, Winifred. But now that Henley is gone and the final clause of the divorce settlement is about to pay off, I wonder just how sad you are with Henley dead. You and Ethel will inherit Henley's shares of being Counter Supreme. Not quite a majority shareholder, that would be Uncle Les, but close to it. If Henley's death had not been an accident, you would be my first suspect.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, you paint-smudged goof. Hedley's death was from a well-known shellfish allergy. Is tragic, but hardly criminal. His insurance provided for you and your Crayola box of children quite well. You won't find any pity from me for your situation. If you had just left a decent family man alone, none of this would have ever happened. Why, oh why, did you have to turn your seductive willies on my Hedley?
You did it again, didn't you? Wild!
I just couldn't resist this.
Can we just keep willies? Because that is funny shit. Can we keep that?
I'm with Kev. I'm with Kev, and I'm part writer, so.
You and Henley were separated for a year before he and I found happiness together. No one should have to live a life as constrained as Henley did with you. He didn't want to hurt you and Ethel, but he finally got to the point where he wasn't willing to ignore his own unhappiness any longer. You cannot know what it feels like when you must pretend to be something else, nor you will lose your family's love. Henley, the children, and I were happy. I wish that you and Ethel would someday feel the same.
Well, if I had a Willie, we would still be happy today. I wish for happiness from the man who destroyed mine. Ha! What is happiness anyway? What I objected to the most is his new, improved Hedley, were his ethics. He had happily scammed money from investors for years. He made millions from unexplained collapse of Wheat Scream Ice Creamery. Now that was some creative but completely legal accounting. But then Hedley left us to find himself and returns an ethical investor. I was happy to ignore his need for gentlemen, but to turn Bean Counter Supreme on its head and stop all investment in the shadier side of the stock market? Why? He could have quietly arranged to do whatever recreational thing he needed to do on the side. So you wouldn't let him do that. You had to push Hedley to come out of the closet and change his life. Bean Counter Supreme flourished under Hedley's lead and didn't need to change his ethics, and he had $1 million luxury closet.
Winifred, you don't deserve my pity, but I am sad for the shallow life you lead. Hedley was taking bean counters in a new investment direction. No more sweatshops in third world countries. You can hold your head high knowing your money was invested ethically. He was even going to reach a settlement with the surviving members of the Screamers family.
My Hedley would never do such a thing.
Neither of us will change each other's mind. And with Headley's death, the children and I no longer have any say in being Counter Supreme. And so, once again, I thank you for coming.
Where's their...
Okay, so.
I'm glad you didn't do mine.
I think Kat did.
That's right.
What a pathetic gathering of women. No one could creatively manipulate numbers like Father. But why? Why weren't you satisfied? Life was perfect before you began trying to find yourself. Yes, Mother and I were aware. Yes, Mother and I were aware that you were unhappy, but what is so wrong with that? No one is truly happy, and you said you had been living a lie all your life. What's a little longer in the grand scheme of things? And it would have been much less scandal for the family and firm. But you weren't thinking about Mother and I, or the firm. Were you, Father? We turned a blind eye to your twice-yearly business trips to San Francisco, as long as you brought me back something nice. I don't care how many times you want to visit the YMCA village people. Mother and I were comfortable. Why did you have to take all that away from us just so you could be happy? How could you be so selfish? You said you loved us. I will never understand, Father. You left a calm, well-ordered home to marry a skinny little art family with a perpetual paint smudge on his forehead who lives in a box full of crayons!
Oh, I'm supposed to try.
Yeah, you have to try and comfort.
No, I'm not going to comfort.
Love you too, Daddy.
Whoa, dead fella. Remember the rules. We'll leave right now.
Oh, I've lost myself. Okay, it's all
You just sit
right.
back down.
What? I fell.
Come on, Les.
Ethel, are you all right?
Oh, Mr. I'm sorry. I was just letting off some pent-up aggression.
Mr. Les, Ethel, you're amongst family. Call me Uncle Les.
You're at your
You were at your beloved father's funeral. It's expected that you to be a tad distraught.
I really am. I don't know what this God is to me. Excuse me. I prefer to breathe in private.
Ethel, Bertha, Dolores, I've known you since you were sucking on your first calculator. Sorry, I thought
Stutter
Not a
makes the
Willy?
Lord
I'd
evil.
do that again. Ethel, Bertha, Dolores, I've known you since you were sucking on your first calculator. You have feelings just like the rest of us. Now, why don't you go get yourself a cup of tea? I know, no milk, only lemon, and recite pi to the 100th digit. That usually calms you down.
Yes, yes. Pie and tea.
I guess this way you can stop worrying about putting on the pounds.
I don't know who to leave it for.
How
do I choose?
lying.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't know who to leave it for. How do I choose?
Really not that difficult. Why not leave it up to chance? Plunk it down in front of one of your enemies, or remains in front of your enemies.
Him.
I'll get the
Hannah, I know how much Papa Henley meant to you, but please restrain yourself from one of your displays. It's simply not a valid or appropriate art form to use to honor your father.
That's true. I'm going to do my performance piece. Just because you're such a paintsy diesel, doesn't mean I have to be.
Hannah, in your voice, please.
Hannah, we all know you want to honor your papa, but really, you should maintain a sense of...
No! Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Oh, God.
I'm Hannah Pinker, and I will perform a tribute piece to my puppet head. I call this the colors of the dancing sea. Puppet head, this one's for you.
Oh, this is going to be a disaster.
Hey, Ethel, shut up.
Make me.
Okay.
This
I'll
is
give you a
the
touch
fish
there. Suck.
that made him grow. The fish swelled and swelled up until he could swell no more, like the sea. And swelled him up like the sea. Alas, he could swell no more. You could say my Papa Headley popped, but then from the sky, falling like my tears, came a rain of colors. Broken are we without our Papa, and the colors meld into one big giant bob of henna. But fire will free us, will cleanse us all, and take away our pain, and...
Thank you, Hannah. What a lovely tribute. I'm sure your father and everyone else enjoyed